everyone, I'm the Sports Wiz 101, and today I'll be giving you my predictions for Week 8 of the NFL season. So, we'll predict all of these games set to take place in Week number 8. Weird because there are no teams on bye this week. All 32 teams have a game this week. I'll tell you who's going to win, who's going to lose, and we've been doing pretty good as of late doing that. I mean, last week was a slight step back. Even then, we were 11-4. So, been a pretty good couple weeks for us. We'll try to keep that going as we start with the Week 8 predictions with the Colts taking on the Texans. These two met up back in Week 1 in Indy. This was, of course, the second time that these two teams meet. And, yeah, I'm feeling a lot more confident in Houston for this one than I was in that one. It just feels like the Colts offense, it just feels like they're in the worst position, to me at least, than they were back in Week 1. I think the Texans defense puts forth a good effort. You might see Mixon have a big game again. Heck, Stroud can have a big game against this Colts defense too. I like Houston to get the win. Baltimore and Cleveland going at it in Cleveland. No more Deshaun Watson for the Browns. I'll leave that up to you to decide if that's a good thing or not. But now they get the Baltimore Ravens. And, yeah, I'm taking Baltimore here. I just feel like even if Jameis Winston is the quarterback for the Browns, I'm not sure they'll be able to do much against the Baltimore defense. And this could lead to a bit of a lopsided Ravens victory. I'll take Baltimore. Jets and Patriots. Jets have been going the absolute wrong way as of late. Despite everything they've tried, between firing their coach, bringing in Devontae Adams, now Hassan Reddick is ending his holdout, and now they head to Foxborough to take on the Patriots, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the most recent team the Jets have beaten, and that game was a pretty convincing Jets victory back in the Meadowlands. Me personally, I'll take the Jets again. I think they might look more like the Jets team you'd expect to see going in. Though that could just be a product of New England not being that good. Though I do expect the Patriots to put a bit more fight in them than they did back in Week 3. Just because Drake May is the quarterback, it's not Jacoby Brissett anymore. But I still like the Jets to win this. And then next up, it's my Kansas City Chiefs going to Vegas to take on the Raiders in the first divisional matchup between these two. And the Chiefs now the only undefeated team in the NFL. And they take on the Raiders, who as an organization are the most recent team to beat the Chiefs. You remember back on Christmas Day last year, a nightmare for Chiefs fans like me to see the Raiders go into our house and beat us. I think the Raiders do have somewhat of a legitimate chance again, just because, well, you can make the argument the Chiefs have a good defense, so they'll shut down the Raiders, but they kind of shut down the Raiders' offense on that day. The Raiders didn't score any offensive touchdowns. Now is also a day where Mahomes and the Chiefs were a bit turnover happy, and the Raiders took advantage by getting a couple defensive touchdowns. But I don't think that's going to happen again. For one, I think the Chiefs will be more motivated to knock off the Raiders here. Plus, I think the run game for the Chiefs is more of a factor than it was on that day. I like Kansas City to keep their undefeated record intact with a key victory over the Raiders. Now the interconference matchups, as you can see, there is a lot of them. We start with the Packers in Jacksonville. Jacksonville coming off a big win in London against the Patriots, but I don't think they come out on top here. I think Green Bay dominates. I think Jordan Love has a big game. I think the Packers win. Cardinals and Dolphins. This could be the return of Tua to the Miami lineup. And if that is the case, then I like the Dolphins to score and score a lot against the Cardinals. So I like Miami. Titans and Lions. So this next one is going to be my lock of the week. And it is the Lions taking the victory over the Titans. I just feel like with the way the Lions play defense, they're going to force Tennessee to throw the ball. And that is just not something Tennessee wants to do, especially after they trade away DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, maybe you can get a good game out of Calvin Ridley and all that, but I see the Lions eventually turning this into a runaway. I like the Lions. I think they could blow them out. Bills and Seahawks going at in Seattle. Now, Seattle, I think one of the toughest places to play. The second loudest stadium in the NFL. So, yeah, I believe the home field advantage in Seattle is real. But you also have to take into account no DK Metcalf. I'm expecting no DK Metcalf for Seattle this week. I think that Buffalo offense is just getting going. I think they are playing close to their best. I like Buffalo to go to Seattle and get the win. Chargers and Saints going at it over at SoFi. And yeah, I just don't think that Saints offense is really all that good. Then again, the Chargers offense wasn't all that good last week against the Cardinals, only putting up 15 points on no touchdowns. But I still also believe the Chargers have a good defense. That's something I don't think the Saints can really say right now. So I like the Chargers to get the win at home. Panthers and Broncos going at it. No Andy Dalton after he was involved in a car crash. And no, I am not talking about the Carolina Panthers organization. So it's going to be Bryce Young going in at quarterback for the Panthers. I think that is bad news for the Panthers. Good news for their opponent, in this case, the Denver Broncos. I think Denver will pretty much dominate the Panthers. I like the Broncos. Eagles, Bengals. This is my upset of the week. I'm taking Philly. I think they'll be able to run on that Cincinnati defense. And I think they'll be able to set that up for some pretty good scoring. And, well, while this could be a shootout, I think Jalen Hurts does just enough to get the Eagles the win. Give me Philly. Then we got the Monday night game, which pits the New York Giants against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I still believe that Giant offense is terrible. But you look at how Russell Wilson looked this past Sunday night against the Jets. He looked like classic Russell Wilson, I would dare say. It looked like Russ at his best form since he left Seattle. And I think if that Russ comes to play on Monday, it's going to be an easy Steeler victory. Give me Pittsburgh. Thursday Night Football this week, it's the Vikings and the Rams. Rams have been in serious trade talks about sending away Cooper Kupp. I believe he should be back for this one against the Vikings. And I think the Rams will make it a close one. But in the end, I think just too much of Minnesota, maybe too much Justin Jefferson. Vikings defense comes up with a key stop late. I like Minnesota. Falcons and Buccaneers. I was very much prepared to say I'm taking Tampa Bay in this one. And then their top 2 receivers went down with an injury in Monday night's game. Now, Mike Evans, it's a hamstring injury. Sounds like he'll be back sometime after the Buccaneers bye in Week 11. I can't quite say the same thing about Chris Godwin. So with that lack of receiver talent suddenly now in Tampa Bay, it feels like they're going to have to score and score a lot, and I'm not sure that they'll be able to do it. So yeah, I think the Falcons get the win. They sweep the Buccaneers. Bears and Commanders. Chicago is coming off a bye. This game feels a lot bigger than it was when it was scheduled to me. Granted, that's in part because I greatly underestimated the Commanders. And maybe I'm underestimating them here when I pick Chicago. I mean, for one, we might not see Jayden Daniels. I mean, he left the game last week with a rib injury. Though I wonder how much of that was just that the Commanders were already blowing the Panthers out at that point. But also, I still believe the Bears have the better defense between these two. The Commanders' defense, it might be improving, yeah, but I'm not sure it's quite at the level of the Bears' defense. And so, yeah, I'm taking Chicago to get the win. Then it's the Sunday night game, the Cowboys and the 49ers. I think back, what typically happens when these two teams meet? And it's typically not good for Dallas. Whether it be they get blown out, or Dallas loses on a humiliating play call by Mike McCarthy. Yeah, it typically doesn't go the Cowboys' way. So I'm taking the 49ers. I think offensively they can have a big game against the Cowboys. I'm not sure if Micah Parsons is going to be back for this one or not. But even if he is, I think you could see Jordan Mason, for example, having a big game on the ground for the 49ers. So yeah, I'll take San Francisco to get the win there. But there you go. There's my picks for Week 8 of the NFL season. If you like this, please like and subscribe for more to come in the following weeks. I've been Sports Wiz 101, and I will see you all later.